My dudes, my guys, my freaking boys, I have an interesting one for you. This video is probably a 2-video thing. Before I even get started on this, it is a roll cage video, as you can probably tell in the title. But take whatever you know about roll cages and just throw it out the window. It does not matter here. It's for a dirt track car. There are rules, but the rules are basically just say use your best judgment. You have to have 3 door bars and very minimal rules. And a lot of these cages are like cut up and like you'll put like a neon cage out of like a Dodge Neon into like a Civic, and like they'll cut tubes and weld them. We're not doing none of that. We're doing it the most legit way possible with still fitting in the rules, and we're gonna make a cool cage. So let me turn this chop saw off real quick because it's probably kind of loud. Okay, so I'm working on cutting some bars right now, or some stock, you'll see. But we have this kit here. And I think the company that makes it's called Roll Cage Composites, maybe, or something like that. They're out of Virginia. We went and picked this kit up. Basically, the reason we do these kits, they fit pretty well. This one's going to be a little bit funky because it's for like coupe Integra, and this is a 4-door Integra, so we're going to have to do some weird stuff. You'll see. But we get these kits because I can't even get the material for the price that we get the whole kit for. So might as well just use a kit and make it work, right? So this is what we got. It's my buddy Cody's. It's a 4-door Integra. And we are going to be putting this cage in it. And right now I'm cutting the floor boxes. You can see I'm using 3/16 2x4 steel tube, square tube. And what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to put them along the rockers down there, and that's what the cage is going to mount to. Like I said, all you guys that have like road race cars or drift cars or drag cars, y'all probably like, you can't do that, it has to be a 6x6. There's not rules. You should see some of these cages. They're terrible. So if anything, this in our minds should strengthen the chassis up, is what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping to gain by adding this a bunch of weight, is what we're hoping to add like by that. And then we still got to build off of it to like build, you'll see, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm going to get to cutting these, and then we can set the main hoop in. I think I might have to widen the main hoop some, which I might have to back the tractor out and throw it on the bender and unbend it a little bit. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'll see y'all in a second. All right, so as you can see right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a gap down through here. And we don't want that because we are gonna weld it to the floor down here, and then we're gonna weld it along the rocker. We're not gonna weld the whole thing. Fits up great up there next to the floor. There's a little bit of a gap back here. So what I'm going to do is there's 2 little bumps right here. That looks like that's what's holding us. And then this seam weld back here, or seam sealer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our trusty old mini sledge and knock all that stuff back so I can get this bar tighter up in here. I mean, I could weld in there, but for doing it, I might as well make it easy on myself, right? So I can feel that, that's no problem. I can feel that, that's no problem. I'd just rather, see how I'm like having to pull it up like this to get it level? I'd rather not have to do that. I'd rather leave it where it's at, because right there it's flush on the floor. If I pull it up, it's not flush on the floor anymore. So we're just gonna go ahead and hammer out some of this stuff and see if that'll get us where we want. All right, not exactly how we want it, but can make it work. Then I'll have a trick. You can see I can fit my hand under here. I have a trick for that I'll show you guys. We might, if we hold it like that, I can probably make it work. It's not too bad. All right, so that's one side. Let's knock the other side out. All right, now we have a tricky part. So we want this main hoop right here, we want it to sit on these legs. Now the issue with that is, like I said, I didn't build any of this stuff. It's a kit and it's for a coupe. So it like sits like right here, I think. So we're gonna have to find some way to pull it out, which I have an idea for that. Oh, we also need to figure out, this cage is too tall. Even when it's sitting on the floor, like the floor pan, you can't even like move it up. The guy that makes these kits wants us to cut all these out. A lot of these dirt track guys are cutting out like these supports like on the insides and stuff, like all in here and stuff. But I think that what they don't really realize is these are unibody cars. They're not frame rail cars. So when you go start cutting stuff like that, like for drag racing, cool, you know, you don't have to turn. These cars, that right front has a lot of pressure on it because there's left turning all the time. So the chassis is going to start twisting. That's the only thing that holds stuff together. So I'd rather not cut any of this stuff out. If I cut anything, I might cut this front support out up here a little bit because I want to be able to tuck that halo bar up as high as I can, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This is kind of like, this is the hardest part because I normally build, these are the down bars right here. I normally build it to where the down bars come off and they go all the way down. They just have one bar across. This kit is built with a halo that's right there. So with the halo, it goes around and then those go down. So kind of now I'm gonna kind of guess where this is gonna land, and then I'm gonna have to put the halo up and find some way to ratchet strap it together. I got ways to do that, and then figure out where the A-pillar bars are gonna land. And then I gotta figure out if that distance is far enough for the door bars because they're already pre-cut. And they're gonna have to go out here, so we're gonna have to chop all this. It's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to get this main hoop fitted in as best as I can. I know I'm gonna have to cut at least 2 inches out of it, probably a little bit more. So I'm probably gonna go ahead right now and just cut like 2 1/4 out of it or something like that, just off the break, just to see where it sits after that. Because like I said, even when it was on the floor, I couldn't raise it all the way up. So we're gonna go ahead and cut like 2 1/4, 2 1/8, something like that, and see if we can get it to stand up. All right, so I went ahead and cut 2 1/8 out of these. I'm gonna have to just straighten them up. Actually, not that bad. But let's see. So I cut 2 1/8. I have to cut another 1/8 out of them. It's always best to cut as little at a time. That way you can always go ahead and cut more. So as you can see, we're actually on the bars, which is awesome. I didn't think that was gonna happen. It fits up there real nice width-wise. It's just too tall. Actually, it might be a little bit too wide. Either way, we're gonna have to cut a little bit more out of it, I think. Trying to think. The only other thing that I could maybe do is like dent. Keep in mind, this is a dirt track car. I'm gonna keep saying that. It's not a drag car, it's not a road race car, it's not a drift car. The normal stuff I do on those cars, I will not do on this. So I'm thinking I might be able to get this thing to fit up. Nah, it still needs about another 1/2 inch cut out of it. Because I'm thinking if I dent these in up here, let me set this down without making terribly loud of noise. Yep, there's that. I think if I cut these or bash these in some, I might be able to get this in there. Because it seems like it's a little bit too wide. It's hitting right here, but I still need to stand it up more. So either way, we'll go ahead and cut another 1/2 inch out of it, and then I'll try to stand it up in there again, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so we have the cage in now. This is nice. It's a 4-door. I can sit in here. You can see there's a gap up here, which I normally don't like, but when there's a gap up here at the top, that means it's too wide. So to help us with that gap, you can still see it's at a big angle. I'm just gonna go ahead and hammer this stuff in, and then maybe I'll be able to stand the cage up some more. Like I said, a lot of these guys are cutting all this stuff out, so this kit might be made for that. I don't want to do that in this car. The other car that we have set up is running great. It handles great, and I'm trying to mimic this one with that one. The other one's just a coupe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hammer these in. That way the structure is still there, and it's still helping hold the chassis together, but we can actually fit our cage. Because it's like really close, man. It's really close. Yeah, it's real close. I'm just scooting it forward when I do that, so. So just take this. All right. Easy peasy. Look at that. Just like we want it. Perfect. All right, let's just take this. Oh, look at that. Butter, man, butter. Love to see that. Love to see that. All right, so now what we gotta do is try to measure down here, get everything centered. So I normally try to just pick like an easy number. So we'll go like 2.5. So we'll hit this out. It's pretty close. Let's come back some. Let's come back some more. Right there. All right, so now we have that set. And what I'm gonna do is I'll probably put like a little tack weld right here or something. Because when I go to weld all this stuff together, I want to pull these rocker boxes out. I'm gonna call them rocker boxes from now on, or frame rails or something. But I want to pull these out and then I can drop the cage down and weld the tops. So there's other ways to do that. Maybe if you all like this roll cage video, I'll do another one whenever I do another cage. But I have other ways of doing that, but I think that'll be the best in this case. So, all right, let me see. I'll hold the halo up in here, or I'll tack it first. I'll probably tack it in this corner right here, just so I can cut it back out or whatever. I'll tack it and then I'll hold the halo up in there, and then we can kind of see where we're at and see if it's got to go forward, back, see if we got to hit some more stuff out or whatever. I really hope the boy Rick watches this. You know what I got for him? Yeah. We the 40-ounce bubbly boys. Let's get it. All right. We're just gonna see. I know I'm gonna have to modify stuff, but let's see if this is actually gonna fit in here. And the tricky part with this is doing it and not having the main hoop fall over because I didn't tack weld it. Said I was going to, then I didn't. How do we want to do this? So the issue is, for me, this halo, this is why I don't do them this way. I'd run a bar from here and bend it all the way down to the floor down here. I hate these halo bars, but so the halo is sticking out here, which I said I didn't want to cut any of this stuff. So now we either have the option to shorten this, but if we shorten this, then our A-pillar bars come back further. And you don't want the A-pillar bar sitting here. That's kind of silly, you know what I mean? You really want it tucked up here. I think it's already going to be sitting back a little bit more than what I want. So probably shortening this would not be the best case. The other option that we have is I can just let it droop. What I mean by droop is, let me try to hold this somewhere kind of centered, is see how far down it is in the front? See how it's aiming down? Which necessarily isn't a bad thing. I don't really like it. It's not a bad thing, but I'd like it to be tucked up a little bit higher than what it is. But it's only hitting on those corners. So maybe if I can just knock these in here, I'll be able to tuck it up a bit more. So let's grab the hammer and start hammering again. Maybe I actually should tack weld this before I start hammering, because it's probably gonna fall. I don't know, YOLO. All right, I guess I'm gonna try to put a hand on the main hoop so it doesn't fall, and then I'll just start smacking. I should really grab some earplugs, this is loud. All right, that's not moving. What do I do? Okay, I have an idea. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take a hole saw, because it's a round. It shouldn't knock too much weight out. What I'm gonna do is take that and run that down through there. The issue I'm having is that this pilot is way too big They're like way too long. This one seems shorter. Maybe I'll just steal this one. I was gonna cut that one, but maybe I already cut this one or something. So we'll take this one. Yeah, this one's really short. Yeah, I already cut this one. Cool. Yeah, the issue I run into a lot with these hole saws is that the pilots are like way too long, and like everything I cut like this, if I cut too deep, it's going through the ceiling. The bit's gonna go through the ceiling. So I always cut them down and make them shorter. All right, let's see here. Ooh, that thing's leaning. All right, so thing's leaning pretty heavy. All right, so we need to cut the inside corners, like right here is where it's hitting. So what we'll do, kind of just eyeball it. So we go on the right on the side of that seam, right there. See if we can get a hole started. Let's see. So we set on the inside, so right here. All right, let's see. I did push the cage up some, so I probably need to scoot back a little bit. All right, well, that's not at all where we wanted it. Very good. Oh, probably if I scoot it back some. Roll cages. Gotta love it. That's where I'd like it to sit, like that. That's not bad right there. Yeah, that's like lined up. All right, so what we'll do is we'll position the main hoop to line up with this, where this is sitting at. And then I guess I'm gonna have to tack this in because it's not gonna stand up. So might try to knock some of this up with the hammer too, just to see if we can get it up any more. Because right now it's like in line with this, which is great. Because, you know, if you think when you sit in the car normally, your head's not up here. You know what I mean? Like, granted, you have a helmet on and stuff, but the way we're doing all this stuff, it's gonna set them down lower. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit some of this up. Maybe we'll be able to tuck it up just a little bit more. Because like I said, right now it's in line with this. If I position this where I want it, I can always re-notch it at the end, then the back too, if I want to do that too, but it's easier just to move the main hoop back a little bit, and then we'll have to make sure that it's going to fit right here with the A-pillars, because like I said, I don't want the A-pillars sitting back crazy like this. So this is why I personally hate halo bars. Like, I have a ratchet strap trying to hold the front of it, but like, you can't. There's nothing to strap to, and then you got to hold both corners up evenly. And like, I only have two hands, just me. This is why I don't do halo bars. If you just have one bar that goes down, you can set it down there, set it up there, it fits, tack, tack, done. This you have to hold 3 different spots and weld, all while wearing a mask so you can't see like above your eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and fight this for a couple more minutes. All right, so as you can see now, we have this thing up in there, but it's still like a little loosey-goosey, so we'll just have to remember that when we're messing with the A-pillar bars. So now we got to see if the A-pillar bars will even fit in here where it's at. I'm going to keep stressing this, that if this was a single bar, wouldn't have to deal with any of this. So this is a single bar, it'd already be in. So, but it's tacked up there, you can see in the corners. It just got to move it up some like that, and then see where these are going to fit. But since we're on the our rocker boxes that we made, or the frame rails, we got to cut material out of the A-pillars just like we did in the back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some material out, and then we can start trying to fit these A-pillar bars. All right, so I got this cut 2.5 inches out of it, and it fits up like damn near perfect. So, and you can see I'm moving it up right there. So I'm just gonna cheat it like this bar in a little bit this way, just to try to get it closer to this pillar to see if I can like try to add some kind of bracing to the pillar, because like right here it'd be like in line with the windshield, which is okay by me, but up there, I mean, you can see that fits money. So now we get to see is if these door bars are actually going to be the right length to fit down through there. And I think the issue we're going to run into is these aren't the same angle. So I guess I'm going to try to angle match this bar right here and this bar right here with my angle finder like this. I can tell you this front one is way more angled. I'll try to angle match them because that means they'll be parallel with each other. And if they're parallel with each other, then we should be good, but I don't think they are. I think this one's at like a 90 and that one's at a 5. Yeah, so they're 5 degrees off. So what I might have to do is shorten this one a little bit more to drop it down so it can kind of swing over. Because I'm gonna need them to be parallel. Because basically what happens if this is a 5 degrees off, the door bars, since they're already notched, you're kind of stuck with what you got. An unfortunate part of a kit. So like I'm not gonna be able to like cheat this in to like how do I word this? If I was building the door bars, I could make the bottom one a little bit longer, the middle one a little bit shorter, and the top one the shortest. Since we have a kit, we don't have that option. They all have to be the exact same. So that bar and this bar need to be angle matched, and then we kind of hope that they're the right length apart. I didn't cut. That's the reason why I didn't want to cut anything on the back, and I didn't want to cut anything on this, because if those don't fit, we're kind of screwed and we got to build our own, which I'm fully capable of doing, just extra money. So I'd rather not do that. So I guess I'm going to try to take a little bit more out of this bar just so we can get the angles matched, and then we'll be good. So I'm going to do that. All right, so here's the issue with kits, okay? Now, everybody buys a kit because it's a lot cheaper. I get it. I agree to a point, right? Here's the issue. So I didn't cut anything off of this tube right here. So that's a stock length. I didn't cut anything off of this tube right here. So that's a stock length, right? I still need to cut this bottom, but I just wanted to see, I just wanted to throw it in here and see, you know, how far off we are, okay? So that's hooked in right there, right? Granted, these are gonna go the opposite way, but you'll see why I'm doing it this way right now. So that fits there. Look how far off we are over here. It's like a good like 3 inches probably between here and here. So this is where it becomes tricky, because now you kind of got to guess, did they want this bar shorter so we get that angle out like I was talking about? Because it's only a 5 degree angle. This is way more, this issue that we're having here is way more than a 5 degree thing. So do we notch it here and shorten it and bring it back and kind of keep our same angle that we have here? Or do I correct this angle and that's gonna pull this way back here? But it's kind of one of those things, what do you do, you know? When we originally got this kit, we really wanted them to leave this straight, and I was gonna bend it for this reason and leave them a little long, but so now we got to figure out what to do. It's kind of a rough one because it's like, damn if you do, damned if you don't. I think probably the best case is going to be to take this angle out first, see where we're at, and then if I have to, I'll shorten it up here. I really don't want to shorten that. It's kind of fitting really nice in there. So I guess I'll cut a little bit out of here and figure out how much I got to cut for this to swing back down. The only issue is it's gonna drop it. I like how flush it is right here. That's gonna drop. It's gonna be like a gap like this, which I don't want. But I mean, what do? You know what I mean? We're kind of stuck with it. So let's go ahead and cut this, I guess. All right, so it gets even more difficult to judge, because if I put this in here like this off of there, which means we cut another 2 inches out of it. I don't know if the GoPro angle can see, but it's like just in line with this, which to me is way too far down, but it kind of fits. I can't hold this. So hard to do with one person. All right, let's see. All right, let's get that in there. That's there. You can see it kind of fits. So it's off right there, but whenever it swings around, this way, it should line up pretty decent. So do I cut 2 inches out of it and just let it be like kind of low? See, because when I build cages, this bar is tucked up like that. Like it's like in line with the windshield. Like, so I'm kind of frustrated, but one of those things, what do? You know, it's a cage kit. So like I'd want this bar to be over here and like tucked up like that, you know? It's even with this. But if we do this, it's gonna be way down here, which isn't near the driver at all, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but just kind of not what I want. I guess we'll cut 2 inches out of it and hope for the best. I really don't want to have to remake this tube. Like I said, the other option would be to shorten it up this way, but then we still have this angle to deal with, which isn't gonna work with those bars. But if I cut the 2 inches out of the bottom, I measured it, the angle wise, it'll match and it'll fit. So I guess we're just cutting 2 inches out of it. All right, so now we have this. You can see it's off just a little bit. I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but if I pull this tube back, it fits. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of maneuvering to get it to actually fit, because like down here it's still pretty far off, but if I pull that tube in, it'll fit. So we can make this work now. I just really do not like this at all, but I mean, it is what it is, you know? You got to work with what you got. I know everybody on the internet, oh, you could just get more material and rebuild it yourself. Yes, I can. That's not in the budget, okay? So if this was budgetless, it would be immaculate. Everything would fit perfect. This would be tucked up there and it'd be completely different. We're working with what we got, okay? It's a dirt track car. So I guess what I need to figure out now is the next issue. This is the tricky part here. So these bars go out here. You can see the issue. So what I want to do is close the door like this, and I want this top bar to be kind of as close to the top as possible. So sitting like right there. That's what I would like. So I guess we'll go ahead and mark like somewhere in here, and then what I'm gonna do is take a hole saw and cut down through here, and this will get tucked in there and it'll fit up through there. So guess we can go ahead and work on that. All right, so this tube is kind of landing right here, and the back side is definitely more flat than this side. So I need to go get the correct size. This might work. It's actually the exact size. Wow, that's lucky. So I guess we're just gonna kind of run this down through here like this. All right, so that's where our first tube is gonna slide through. Now what would be really cool is if I could somehow like slide this. Of course it's not gonna fit through there perfectly. Oh, that sucks. Let's see. Dang, man, so close. It's like the exact size, so it's not gonna fit. I really wanted to just slide that through there like that, but it's not gonna work. I guess I'm gonna have to cut this out and then grind some of it and see if I can get it through. Maybe I'll try to just take the grinder and get up in here and see if I can clear it out. Let's try that first. So like, yo, relax, am I a professional? Like, this actually like kind of worked out. Like, I'm gonna have to finagle it a little bit, but like, look at that. We'll be able to weld around that and tie that into the body. Wait a minute, this is not supposed to work like that. It's not the way my life works. Yeah, because if I can pull that in like that, I can weld that. It's got like a little bit of a gap, but it should be fine. Dang. Now I guess we can see if we can fit another one in there, huh? Wow. That's actually kind of badass. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is way cooler than what I thought it was gonna be. I was not expecting that to work at all. The door's not gonna close because this is in there. Probably gonna have to cut some of that stuff out too, but that's not a big deal. Yo, that's cool. I'm super pumped about that. All right, so I was drilling the next one out and all of my drill batteries are dead. So what a contraption this unit is, boys. This is how you end up missing digits. So let's see if we can actually make this work somehow. I don't think I'm gonna have enough control over it to get it to actually work. That didn't work. God dang it. All right, boys. So we found a different socket. Seems like it fits better. An adapter to an adapter. Oh yes. Oh yes. Doesn't get much better than this. Ooh, don't let that fall down in there. All right, well, we have a hole now. So now I guess just gotta lop this out, lop that out, and then clean it up. And hopefully we will be able to run the next tube down through there. Heck yeah. All right, so I got the second bar in. I have it tacked because all this is gonna have to get cut back out to be able to like drop it down, because these are notched, so I can't drop it when this is in place. This cut, clearly not ideal, but it's in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just be able to like weld around the bottom and maybe build some kind of like filler plate or something up there. And then I kept this piece right here to go back in. So after I weld that back in, maybe it'll help a little bit, but I'm mainly worried about the inner skeleton here. This inner skeleton's thicker than this outer stuff. So as long as I can get some decent weld on that outer stuff, will be good. But I do want to get something up top up here. So we'll have to build something for that. But get to do it one more time. So there's gonna be, now we gotta do the third bar, which is gonna be somewhere down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut that now. Also, these bars, you can see there's like a gap down through there. So I'm either gonna have to like pull this in or move the main hoop or something. But what I'm gonna try to do is I'm going to put all this in, put a single tack on the fronts and a single tack on these, and then I'll have the third bar in, put a single tack on that, and then I'll undo the tack weld that's on the floor down here and pull this out towards this. From the beginning I said we're probably gonna have to pull it, but I'm more worried about getting this stuff lined up so I can weld up in here and get that all welded. All right, so we have all three bars in now. There's supposed to be a fourth bar that goes along the bottom and comes up. We can worry about that later. That one's easy because it's not bent. It doesn't have to be notched into the pillar. So we have this. I'm gonna go ahead and now do the other side. Same thing I did here, but on that side. And then, like I said, I'm gonna have to weld like these top joints here. I'm gonna have to weld there, weld around there as much as I can, and all that. And then cut all, there's tack there, tack there, tack there. And I think I gotta do a tack here and here just to like hold that up. I'm gonna have to cut all those out, bring this out, pull the boxes out, drop it down, weld the tops, and then I can do the rest. I guess I also have to add a bar in up there, so I should probably do that before I do that. So anyway, I'm gonna do this on that side now. All right, so we have this side all welded in, as you can see. We'll tack weld it in, because like I said, we gotta pull it all back out. So now I'm gonna go ahead, and there's a roof bar over here. This guy. So yeah, it's not notched on the end, so we'll have to notch it. It goes in the center from the halo bar right there to the main hoop. So I guess we'll go ahead and get the notch in that and get that thrown in there. And then I'm not gonna weld this bar in, and that one I'll be able to weld. Yeah, so after I do this, I'm probably gonna call it quits for the day. And then tomorrow I'll come out here and weld the tops of everything as much as I can. cut these door bars off, take them out, and then drop the whole cage down, weld the tops of everything, and then set everything back up. So that'll be another video. I think I'm gonna end this video after I weld this bar in and show you guys that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I had to come back out here. My camera decided to corrupt some of the files for some reason. So yeah, we got that upper bar welded in, and as I was welding that in, I started looking in the corners, and I think that I might be able to weld around all the joints I need to weld without having to drop the cage down, which would be, it'd be huge. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna mess with that a little bit tomorrow and then see how it goes. So this is a part 1 on this. Probably like another 1 or 2 parts. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's a long one. I'm sorry. If you watch the whole thing, I super appreciate it. Comment and tell me how bad of a cage this is. Anybody that knows stuff about cages is gonna be like, oh my goodness, what are they doing? But it'd be all right. I appreciate y'all. See you later.